How do you make a snare drum sound super loud in a mix without actually having it super loud in a mix? Around the time I first started mixing, there was a particular live album that I had been listening to, and I loved the snare sound. So I found a video from the album recording and I sat there like this, just waiting for a drum close-up so I could hopefully see what microphone was on the snare drum. I was so sure that was the key to the snare's massive sound. But I was focusing on the wrong thing. Imagine you're standing beside a drum kit and the drummer hits the snare really hard. You know it's loud, first of all, because your ears hurt, but also because you feel that sound energy hitting your body. Now let's say you're in a large room, far away from the drums, and the drummer hits the snare again. More so than feeling the snare, you're going to hear a scattered, diffused, reverberating version of the snare sound. Your brain says, wow, that snare is spilling all over the room because it's so loud. This is why room mics are so important to me for achieving perceived snare drum loudness. I use the close mic for detail, punch, and felt energy, and I use the room mics for explosive perceived energy. Depending on the song you're working on, room mics often benefit from aggressive compression. I, along with many others, enjoy using 1176 style FET compressors for this job. Taking the original sound from this to this. But what if you don't have room mics? I get it. There are other tricks you can do, but my point is this. If you want a massive snare sound in the foundation of your production, and you have the ability to put up room mics during drum recording, give it a try. One other note, loud snares are often accompanied by loud cymbals. If you have lots of dampening on the top of your snare drum, often you are significantly reducing the volume of your snare at the source. If your snare is being overpowered in the room by cymbals, it is going to be really hard to use those mics to enhance your snare sound. Try tuning your snare drum really well, taking all dampening off, and letting it be wide open for maximum volume and character. If you're worried about the snare ringing, just give it a shot. Often in a mix, the ringing just comes across as sustain and actually sounds really nice. Back to the live video that I watched a few years ago. The thing I loved about that snare sound was probably coming from crowd mics. Probably a sample or two, who knows? The sounds we love are very often the result of many elements combined. Don't focus too much on one aspect, and have fun.